The film begins with Jenny recalling a traumatic event that led her to act very angry and scared around men. Jenny then changes her name to Angela and starts seeing a personal doctor named Dr. D. Angela shares with Dr. D that she has scary dreams and sad memories from her past. Dr. D suggests Angela join a group where people who were hurt and didn't get justice can share their stories. Meanwhile, at Angela's job, a coworker named Matthew wants to be friends with her, but Angela is always mean and rude to him because she is still dealing with her trauma and mental health issues. The next day, Angela went jogging, but some local bullies led by a guy named Chief started bothering her. This made her remember when she had to kill the men who hurt her. Seeing Angela scared, Chief decided to let her go. That evening, while waiting for the bus, Matthew came by and offered her a ride. She refused and used mean words, acting as if all men were bad. Matthew felt hurt and left her. Later, Angela went to the rape counseling club that Dr. D suggested. The club leader, Lynn, told Angela that everyone in the club shares their stories to help each other, but when Lynn asked Angela to share her story, she said no. After that, Lynn invited Angela to take a break. While getting coffee, a man named Oscar, the only guy in the counseling club, came over to talk. He tried to get to know Angela but left when another member named Mara came for coffee. Mara told Angela that Oscar's daughter had died because the person who hurt her was let go. This made Oscar's daughter very sad, and she chose to end her life. Mara then invited Angela to go outside for a smoke and shared that she had another reason for joining the club. Mara planned to get revenge on the people who hurt them. When Angela left the club, Mara suddenly appeared and yelled at Chief, leaving him speechless. They decided to drink at Mara's usual hangout spot to relax. They started sharing their stories and thoughts about rape. Mara, who has some pretty extreme and psychopathic ideas, told Angela not to trust the police and that they could only rely on themselves to solve their problems. From that night, they became closer, and Angela started to believe what Mara said. The next day, Angela carried a stun gun in her bag and went to the counseling club. There was a new member named Cassie, a girl whose father left her after divorcing her mother. Now, Cassie lives with her mom, who is sad about the divorce but found new happiness with Ron, Cassie's stepdad. The reason Cassie joined the club is that Ron harassed her. When Cassie told her mom got angry and didn't believe her. Cassie hoped to solve her problem, but Lynn explained that the club only helps with healing and forgiveness, not solving problems. After that, Angela and Mara talked about Cassie's problem of living with her stepdad who hurt her. Soon, an old man joined their conversation, defending men, which annoyed Angela and Mara. Later, the old man got very drunk and decided to go home. Angela and Mara followed him. When he was about to unlock his house door, Mara suddenly pulled down his pants and screamed at him, making him so scared that he wet his pants. The next day, Angela and Mara went shopping at the mini market. Mara picked up a grass clipper and joked that it was a tool for hurting male genitals. Hearing that, Angela smiled at the grass clippers because it reminded her of her dark past. Angela picked up a weapon, thinking about fighting. Just then, a man walked by and accidentally touched her butt. Angela imagined hitting the man's stomach and head with the hammer she was holding, but it was just her imagination. Long story short, Angela and Mara went to Cassie's house and watched her family from a distance. They saw that Cassie looked depressed while Ron went to work like everything was normal. Unexpectedly, Angela and Mara followed Ron to his workplace. Mara wanted to get back at Ron for what he did to Cassie. Angela felt scared and uncomfortable, asking Mara to stop, but Mara just smiled as Ron was about to leave work and told Angela to make up her mind. Sometime later, when Ron was about to go home, Mara appeared wearing a mask and hit Ron on the head. Before she hit him, Mara said sorry. Ron got scared and gave Mara his wallet, thinking she was a robber. Soon after, Angela came over and tried to stop Mara while Mara told Ron to stop bothering women. Then, Mara and Angela left, taking Ron's wallet and using the money to eat. Long story short, at the counseling club, Cassie said Ron was acting a little better after he told her he hit his head. This made Angela and Mara happy because it seemed like what they did worked. Cassie hoped Ron wouldn't hit his head again and stay normal. Hearing this, Mara told Cassie that if Ron started acting badly again, she should just hit him on the head. Lynn, who didn't want any talk of violence, quickly told Mara to stop. Mara, tired of Lynn's advice, said it was time for the women to take action themselves. After the club meeting ended, Mara was in a hurry to leave, so Angela stopped her and asked her to celebrate their success. She promised to celebrate the next day and left without letting Angela help her. The next day, Matthew tried to invite Angela to drink with their office friends. Angela was a bit nicer to Matthew than before, but she refused the invitation because she had plans with Mara. Long story short, Angela waited for Mara at their usual cafe. They were supposed to drink together, but Mara didn't show up, so Angela decided to go to the club alone. When Angela arrived, Lynn suddenly hugged her and tried to calm her down, which shocked and confused her. Lynn told Angela that Mara was gone. Angela couldn't believe what happened to her friend and imagined pushing Lynn to the ground and beating her, but it was just in her head. Soon after, a detective named MC Dillon arrived. He was looking into Mara's death and collecting evidence. However, Oscar didn't like the detective being there because Oscar's daughter had died after hurting herself when the person who hurt her escaped the law. Oscar no longer trusted the police. Angela, who didn't know anything about Mara's death, tried to talk to MC Dillon to ask what happened. She offered to tell him everything he wanted to know about Mara. Angela invited MC Dillon to the cafe where she and Mara usually spent time together. There, she told him that Mara seemed worried and anxious the day before because of a problem with her ex-boyfriend. Angela was sure that Mara's ex-boyfriend had killed her. After meeting with MC Dillon, Angela was on her way home when Chief and his friends confronted her again. Chief made Angela angry by saying bad things about Mara. When Chief touched Angela's cheek, she imagined fighting back and killing them all, but it was just a hallucination. The next day, Angela saw on the news that Mara's ex-boyfriend was found not guilty of her murder. This made Angela very angry, so she rushed to the police station to talk to Detective MC Dillon. However, MC Dillon's explanation didn't satisfy Angela, making her realize that the law couldn't be trusted. When Angela got home, she was furious and started smashing things. She made a knife sheath to tie to her thigh, planning to take revenge. That emotional night, Angela dressed like Mara and saw Donald, Mara's ex-boyfriend. Angela approached Donald and led him to a quiet place. Donald followed her and tried to kiss her, but Angela refused and insulted him. Donald got angry and grabbed Angela's hair, forcing her towards him. Remembering her past, Angela quickly pulled a knife from under her skirt and attacked Donald, stabbing and biting him until he was seriously hurt. The next day, Detective MC Dillon came to Angela's office and told her that Donald had been murdered. MC Dillon said Angela was the main suspect because she was very angry and upset when Donald was set free. Long story short, when Angela gathered again with the counseling club, Cassie told again what she had experienced at home. Ron, who had previously repented, was now acting up again, and his perverted attitude was even worse. Cassie told the story while crying, and Oscar, who was fed up with hearing Cassie's story, immediately said that Ron had to face consequences for his perverted behavior. According to Oscar, Ron deserved bad treatment. Lynn, who loves peace and does not want violence, asked Oscar to leave so as not to further provoke the other members. Long story short, Ron just wanted to close his shop. However, Angela came looking like a high school student. She asked Ron for the address she wanted to go to, and he offered to take Angela to her destination. When they arrived at the location, the building looked empty and uninhabited. Ron, who was brave, went in first to have a look. Once inside, Angela tried to tempt him by lying on the bed. The perverted Ron was immediately seduced by Angela, but she immediately electrocuted Ron until he fainted. When he regained consciousness, Ron was tied to a chair with his trousers down. Angela took an iron pipe and asked Ron to smoke it. After he complied with her orders, Angela felt dissatisfied and immediately hit Ron on the head, then pushed him to the ground. She lubricated the iron pipe with oil and did the unthinkable. It didn't stop there. Angela felt the pipe was still long, then took a hammer and hit the pipe until it stuck, killing Ron instantly. The next day, Lynn arrived with Detective Bull, the head of the local police detectives. Oscar didn't like the detective's presence. Unexpectedly, Bull started by questioning Oscar about Ron's death, suspecting him due to his previous night's threat that Ron deserved bad things to happen to him. The police knew this because Lynn had reported it, leading to Oscar being taken in for further interrogation. The following day, Angela met Oscar at the police station, and they shared their stories. Angela revealed her past, while Oscar talked about his daughter's experience, agreeing that law and justice could no longer be trusted. Angela's new goal became finding Watson, the man who hurt Oscar's daughter and escaped justice due to a lack of DNA evidence. She started following a big man, who was actually Watson. Watson eventually noticed he was being followed, and when Angela confronted him, he pushed her away and hit her. Just as Watson was about to harm Angela, MC Dillon arrived and stopped him. The next day, Angela was questioned by Detective Bull, who started to suspect her when he asked about the photo of a little child on her necklace. Angela said it was to remember something, but Bull knew the child in the photo was the daughter of a sheriff killed in a past incident and that Angela was actually Jenny. Angela insisted she didn't want to be Jenny anymore. In the end, Angela became a suspect in several cases after Bull uncovered her true identity. Unexpectedly, Oscar showed up looking hurt and confessed to all the incidents. Angela was shocked by his confession. Although Angela was released, she was still monitored by the police. When Angela got home and saw a police car in front of her house, she became upset and started breaking things to vent her frustration. Soon after, she left the house through the back door, wearing a striking red outfit. Later, Angela met Matthew and offered to buy herself a drink. Matthew refused, thinking Angela was drunk and wanting to take her home. However, Angela thought Matthew wanted to hurt her, so she took out a knife, and he quickly left, shocked. As the night went on, Angela started walking barefoot, with MC Dillon following her without her knowledge. In the park, Chief appeared and teased Angela again. Angela hid the knife in her hand and tried to trick him into lowering his guard. When Chief followed her orders, Angela attacked, but Chief dodged and hit her, making her fall. When Chief tried to hurt Angela, MC Dillon suddenly arrived. Angela took the opportunity to turn the situation around and corner Chief. MC Dillon tried to calm Angela down and asked her to drop the knife. However, Angela ignored him and ended up harming Chief, a thug who always teased her. 2 years later, Angela is in a therapy room with Dr. D. Angela is wearing prison clothes because she has been in prison for 2 years and is now released on probation for therapy. As Angela walked out, 2 female prisoners attacked her because she had many enemies in prison. Despite being surrounded, Angela won the fight. Not long after, Dr. D heard the commotion and came out of her room. Suddenly, Angela imagined stabbing Dr. D, but it was just a delusion, and the film ended.